All right, welcome in everybody to the KSL Stream Center. I am Shara Park. We're going to get right into, we have had a very, very sad situation unfolding out at Westfest in West Valley City last night. An infant, a woman, among 3 people killed, 2 injured in a shooting that played out in what is supposed to be a family-friendly event that takes place there in West Valley City, an event that I myself have attended many, many times growing up as a kid. We've got Mike Anderson, who is out there. I want to go right to this morning, who has been tracking this thing throughout the early morning hours. And Mike, this breaks my heart as someone who has been at Westfest, who has seen West Valley try to bring this thing out from under what has been difficult circumstances over the years, where we've had crime take place there, and now another shooting has taken place, and we get to the situation again where somebody has been hurt, and in this case, 3 people have been killed. So take us through what you know at this point has happened out there, and bring us up to speed. It really is so sad.
Yeah, very sad. And before we cut the video, I just want to show you, this is the fence that was toppled over. There were two areas of fence that were toppled over as this turned into kind of mass chaos out here. So as you said, pretty joyous event, typically a lot of fun that people have here in the community. But that quickly turned Sunday night when police say there were a couple of officers that were kind of observing here at the festival, working the festival, when they noticed a couple of groups kind of arguing that got heated up here. And then it got to the point where it turned into a fight, and the officers tried to intervene and tried to kind of break it up, and say that there was a 16-year-old that pulled out a gun and started firing. And at one point, one of the officers tried to fired back, did not hit the 16-year-old. But in the process, they say that the 16-year-old hit a 41-year-old mother, a woman, 41-year-old woman, 8-month-old baby, innocent bystanders, also hit an 18-year-old who was, they believe, a part of this confrontation. The 3 of them died, and then you have 2 more teenagers who were shot in the arm. They both survived, and it's not clear whether they were involved in the confrontation or not, the fight. So that's still being worked on. And then you had a pregnant woman who got injured as she was trying to go over one of these fences to escape. So, yeah, I've talked with a couple of the people who were here. Some of them have come back. They literally just kind of left their cars behind. Yeah. So I talked with a couple as they're coming to get their cars, and they say it was just mass chaos, just people literally just, in their minds, just running for their lives, just trying to get away.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, a Sunday night, this thing's, families out there trying to enjoy this, and then gunfire erupts in this situation. Very scary. I've seen some of the videos on social media. We're working to get some of those up right now. If we have time, we'll work on getting those up for folks to see here in just a few minutes. But just chaos, right? And people running different directions. We've got people injured on the ground there. Police have a suspect in custody on the ground. So you can only imagine the fear after what was the No Kings protest downtown, where we had that situation unfold, and then one day later this unfold. So, Mike, the 2 teens that were shot in the arm, a 17-year-old female, a 15-year-old male, so multiple people injured in this case. What's happening now? Are they just going to shut down, everything shut down at this point and wrap this up? And what happens now?
Well, the festival itself is over. So you got crews here taking down. And so some of them, saw the commotion. Officially, they would not come out for us because they're contracted by the city. But yeah, they're cleaning up here, and then police will try and work out what exactly happened, because they said there's multiple teens there, not clear who was involved, and the police said that they would work overnight to question that 16-year-old suspect. So we still haven't heard an update as to what came out of that. And West Valley police say that they're working on at least getting us, hopefully, the names of those victims, the woman and the 18-year-old, but they don't expect that at least not before the noon hour.
Mike, this is, absolutely heartbreaking. An 8-month-old infant and a 41-year-old woman. I can't even wrap my head around this, how absolutely devastating this is. Have police said anything about the motive behind this? I know you started to mention it here. Gang related? What was this fight about? What do we know about this?
Yeah, these are all questions we'd love to have answered, and then that people would love to know. And right now, we're still waiting for that update. Police were working to figure that out overnight, and we don't know to this point yet whether it was gang related, whether it was something else. And so just know that was some kind of an argument, got very heated, apparently between some young people here.
Wow. Okay. So what happens with this 16-year-old? Here in the state of Utah, 16 tried in juvenile court, but the potential for him to go to adult court. Sorry, I do hear some yelling. Are you okay there?
Yeah, it's just workers yelling at each other. No
Okay.
worries here.
Okay. What do you know in terms of that? What have you been able to find out?
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see what the prosecutors seek and what the judge decides. As you and I know from covering similar cases like this, it's quite likely that because of a mother and a baby killed, 3 people, it's fairly likely that I'll be charged as an adult. But we'll have to wait and see what happens in the courts.
Yeah, we're looking at three potential aggravated homicide charges in this case. So really, yeah, Mike and I are here talking about this. More than likely, this is a case that goes immediately to adult court at 16. An infant, a 41-year-old, and an 18-year-old all shot and killed in this case. And then 2 other people, 15 and 17, hurt, shot in the arm in this case. Mike, let's talk about a little bit. There was another injury. What did we know about the pregnant woman who was hurt?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like not badly hurt, but again, as of last update, they wouldn't specify, or at least the spokesperson for the city didn't know the extent of the injuries there, but just hurt as she tried to get over one of these fences to get out, as so many people did.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to put you full screen here. Mike, would you do us a favor and give us that look at Westfest and basically what we're seeing there this morning?
Yeah, in fact, I'll kind of try to move the camera here and show you what I'm looking at. So you've got some fence over here that's been toppled over, and there are workers here working, but this has been like this all morning. And one of the folks confirmed to me that this is the result of people just toppling over it, trying to get out, and more over there. And other than that, you have people that are just cleaning up, trying to take down everything. I'll try and walk over behind some of these. They got like offices and overnight trailers for the workers. But the shooting, I'm told, according to the city spokesperson, Roxanne Vainuku, happened kind of towards the other side here. I'm told on the north end, next to where the rides just kind of start to show up there. So, in fact, a couple of the people I talked to said that they were, waiting in line for a ride when they heard the gunshots go off, and so they were close enough to hear it pretty loudly, and started running away. One man said that he was right behind him, and it was so frantic that he didn't know, where his girlfriend and child were at the time. Went running and looking for them. Luckily, everyone was okay. But yeah, you can imagine this festival, according to the city spokesperson, can sometimes draw up to like 10,000 people on a Friday or Saturday. This was a Sunday, so probably a little less busy. But if you can imagine just thousands of people trying to get out at the same time, you can easily understand why fences were just kind of toppled over, just like that there.
Yeah, as someone who grew up in West Valley, who grew up going to Westfest, this was something that the community, this is what we do. We all went to Westfest. We, unfortunately, it got a reputation even when I was a kid that this was where sometimes things like this would happen. But I know West Valley has worked really, really hard to overcome that reputation, and it has become a very family-friendly event. And for something like this to happen again is absolutely devastating for the community, for the organizers of this event. It is absolutely heartbreaking. And then we saw the response last night. It was absolutely, the amount of police that responded so quickly there. It was the whole entire Centennial Park was surrounded within minutes from police all over the valley. It was such a quick response. They had the suspect in custody immediately. I gotta say kudos to West Valley Police and everyone who came there so quickly to handle this situation. But it's devastating for the community. So, all right, Mike Anderson, thank you. We will see you over on KSL 5 News at noon. I appreciate you jumping into this real quick for us and giving us an update. And we'll see you there. Thank you. Okay. All right. We appreciate Mike joining us for that, for just giving us an update on that situation. It is so incredibly devastating to think that we have had an 18-year-old killed, a 41-year-old woman, and an 8-month-old infant. Those two bystanders, just innocent people enjoying their Sunday evening with family, killed in this situation. And then 2 more people, a 17-year-old female, a 15-year-old male, also shot, both of those injuries in the arm. I do have the interview that was done with Roxanne Vainuku. She's the Deputy Communications Director for West Valley City that was done last night. So our Alex Cabrero was out there on scene last night as this was all unfolding and heard that interview talking through the scenario of how this all played out. I'd like to play that for you. Let me cue that up and let you hear that kind of in its raw form and walk through some of the details of this case.
On a little bit of a standby here.
For West Valley City. We had a carnival going on at the final night of Westfest tonight, and at about 9:20 p.m., officers who were working at Westfest spotted 2 groups of people who seemed to be having some sort of a verbal altercation. The officers approached these 2 groups in order to kind of break this up and calm things down, and as they approached, they witnessed a male from one of the groups pull out a gun and start firing it toward the other group. One of the officers did return fire toward the suspect, did not hit the suspect, but they were able to very quickly take the suspect into custody. We do have a total of 5 people who were struck by gunshots. We have an 18-year-old male who is deceased at the scene. We have a 41-year-old female bystander who was hit by gunshots and was taken to the hospital and passed away. We have an 8-month-old infant who was also hit by gunfire and was taken to the hospital and passed away. The 41-year-old woman and the 8-month-old infant were not connected in any way to either of the 2 groups of that original skirmish that started. 2 additional teenagers were shot, both of them shot in their arms. It's unclear at this point if they were connected to that original altercation. One of them is a 17-year-old female. The other is a 15-year-old male, and again, they both suffered gunshot wounds to their arms. The only other injury in this incident was a pregnant woman who was hurt trying to climb a fence when the incident broke out. The suspect, as I mentioned, was immediately taken into custody. He is a 16-year-old male. He has been taken to the police station where he will be questioned by detectives. That has not happened yet, but that is what we're expecting to happen tonight. There were numerous people who witnessed this incident. Detectives right now are working through conducting interviews with those witnesses. They are also aware of a number of people who witnessed this incident but left in.
On a little bit of a standby here.
Okay, so I just wanted to play a little bit of that for you from that. That was last night. I didn't want anybody to think that was live. That was from our last night's interview. I can continue playing some of that, but I don't want to misrepresent that was happening right now. That was last night's interview with Roxanne Vainuku. I can play a little bit more just about the reaction from this unfolding there last night. Very, very heartbreaking situation. Again, this was from Roxanne last night in reaction to this situation.
It's heartbreaking, I think, for all of us to see something like this happen at something that is, just a real treasure, something that we really enjoy in our community.
Okay, so again, we just heard from Mike Anderson there. The very latest we have an infant, 8-month-old, 41-year-old woman also killed, an 18-year-old male also killed. 2 teens also shot in the arm. These 2 are in serious condition. We've got a 17-year-old and a 15-year-old that were shot in the arm. Then we also have a pregnant woman who was trying to flee from the scene, who was injured. We don't know the extent of that woman's injuries. So, man, what a difficult weekend to go from the No Kings protest, where we had a person killed in that situation, and then a day later to have this shooting out at Westfest in West Valley City, and 3 more people shot and killed, 5 people shot, but 3 more people killed. Absolutely devastating. We are expecting updates from West Valley City today. Mike Anderson, again, as you heard out there, we're expecting to learn the names of those who tragically passed away in this. As we do, we hope to learn more about them, and we will pass that information along to you. It's tough. It's sad. It's tough. As someone who grew up out there, you hate to hear this. It's really sad. All right, you guys, we'll have updates over on KSL 5 News at noon. Join us there. We'll check in with Mike Anderson once again over there. And appreciate you jumping in here for this update in the KSL Stream Center. Okay. Stay safe. We'll see ya.